This is Rock Art of Utah by Brittney Walker. Rock art can be defined as any art done on rock, whether it be painted, scratched, rubbed, or pecked into stone. Pictographs usually refer to art that has been painted, and petroglyphs commonly refer to art that has been scratched or rubbed in. Utah has a variety of both petroglyphs and pictographs throughout the state. We also have more than 4,000 different documented rock art sites, and we have been named the Wilderness Louvre by the National Geographic magazine and have often been called an outdoor world-class art gallery. We have some of the most found sites of rock art as well as some of the most variety of rock art itself. However, many archaeologists believe that there are still more sites to be found. On the map there on the right, that is just a very small number of some of the more easily accessible rock art sites in Utah. With that, our rock art comes over a variety of time by a variety of people. We have some rock art that they believe to be almost as old as 11,000 BC, all the way up to more modern time periods of the early 1900s. They often break this time period into three categories of the archaic, the Fremont, and then what they call more of the modern, where you have your different tribes such as Shoshone, Goshute, Paiute, Utes, and so forth. Most of our rock art, they believe, comes from that Fremont time period. With those different time periods also comes a different style of rock art. The oldest during the Archaic period is often known as the Barrier Canyon style, and it tends to be more abstract in nature and more painted on with different pigments, mostly red, but you can find blue, yellow, black, and green as well. We then have that Fremont style, which comes in that middle time period, and it tends to be etched into stone more, with more outlines and more realistic figures that we see as animals and humans and other geometric shapes today. We then have the final style, where these two kind of get combined and overlap, where you can still see figures kind of painted in, but also etched in together to create different masterpieces. Throughout Utah, we have a variety of them, but some of the most famous are these ones below. This is called the Great Hunt, and this rock panel can be found in a 9-mile canyon just outside Wellington, Utah, and it actually covers 46 miles. The canyon does, not the rock panel, but through this canyon you can see different rock art from archaic, Fremont, and that modern time period. Another most famous rock art site is this one called the Great Gallery, and it is from Horseshoe Canyon, which is now part of Canyonlands in southern Utah. This is believed to be anywhere from 2,000 to 8,000 years old, and you can see many abstract figures that have been painted on the walls throughout this panel. We also have another one called the Newspaper Rock. This is down by Monticello Valley on the way to Canyonlands. Here you can find a 200 square foot piece of rock that is filled with an estimated 650 different designs and carvings. It is believed that over a record of 2,000 different years, a variety of Native American tribes would have come and added more and more artwork to the piece over time. But all of this rock art always brings up the questions of what we think we know versus what it really is. One such example is this cave art here that has been, many people have believed to be a dragon. It's actually called a black dragon. Many people have thought it's a bird type figure, but as new technologies and techniques come about, that often changes past thinking. One scientist even drew a chalk art line around this and said black dragon, and that's how it actually got its name. Modern day scientists, though, have been able to take close-up pictures of this image and then put it into something called a D-stretch program. This program analyzes the different pigments within the rock and what would be natural rock, what has been pigments that have been smeared, and where all the pigments would have been originally. They have come to determine that it is not a dragon, but rather two human figures in the middle, a serpent-like figure there on the right, and then two animal figures there on the left. So not a dragon, but definitely rock art from the Fremont time period. In conclusion, all of this, just like all of other rock art around the world, brings up a variety of questions because we are curious by nature. Was this a skill that was taught through generations? Was it communication between different tribes? Do all of these rock art symbols have to do with religious practices or timelines? Are they writings or recordings? And even though we may never know the answers to these questions, it's always fun to go visit the sites, try to guess what it means, and to see new things and open our minds. I hope you enjoyed my research today. If you're interested in where I got any of my information, here is my Works Cited page with a variety of links to different articles, videos, hiking trail sites, and more. Thank you for joining me.